Good afternoon. Today I'm going to demonstrate an application I've created for a Cisco Call Manager. This application will do a lot of things, but today I'm just going to demonstrate how it'll convert one model phone to a different model phone. For this, I created a test branch with 7 phones in it, and these are all 7900 phones. And I'm going to demonstrate converting these to different version phones like 8841s or soft phones or mobile phones. The application itself is written in VBA inside of a macro-enabled Excel spreadsheet. So this is the start of the spreadsheet. And also on this first tab here, I put a bunch of what would be MAC addresses for brand new 8800 phones in here. That way they'll import them into the application that you can use within the application. I'm just going to click the start button. This is what the application actually looks like. It's a bit busy and tight because one of our technicians had a really small screen, and I had to really shrink this down quite a bit to make it fit on his screen, and that makes everything kind of tight. So I'm going to start off with this. I'm going to do a search like what you see on here, a device pool that contains TBR. So I'm going to TBR, and we'll switch it from description to device pool. My application, you can search either by description or device pool, as you can see. And the way the search works, it goes device pool that contains the text that's in here. So it's going to be device pool contains TBR, or if I was on description, it would do description that contains whatever I put in here. So then we'll click the phone search button. And when I click that button, it's going to create an XML API string that's going to send to the call manager with this. And the call manager is going to reply back with its own XML string. So then I interpret that string and put the output here. And then you can see here it comes up with 7 phones, just like it did on the direct call manager search. We have 7 phones. The phone I'm wanting to work with right now is a Jane Doe phone. As you can see, it pulled up information from that phone from the call manager. It shows the device name, shows the owner, which is Jane Doe, the device description, and the model of that phone. All this information here helps me decide that, yes, this is the correct phone that I've searched for within the call manager. So this is the correct phone. So I'm going to select the phone button. When I select that, it actually pulls more information from that specific phone. So it pulls information, again, a device name, description, and owner, but also pulls the line information. This phone here has 2 lines, so it shows line 1 and line 2, and general information about those lines. Now, if it was a different model of phone, like 800 phone that could have more than 2 lines, it has 2 tabs here that are hidden right now. There's a tab for lines 3 and 4 in case there was up to 4 lines, and there's another tab for line 5 in case there was up to 5 lines. This application only goes up to 5 lines. I know some 8800 phones can go up to 10 lines, but how you have them configured, it only goes up to 5 lines. Plus, it won't work on intercom lines. This only works on regular phone lines only, this application, which covers like 99.9% of all our phones in our environment. Now, I want to actually convert this phone into an 8841 phone. So I'm going to need a physical MAC address, which is like what I've got listed over here, and imported these MACs into this list right here. Now, if I didn't want to import them in, I can actually just type in the MAC address direct if I wanted to. But it's a lot simpler to have it imported in. So at this point here, I'm just going to hit the 8841 button. And then it's going to fill in this preview pane here. This pane here is actually what's going to get sent to the call manager. So it changed the MAC address. It put SCP in front of it changed the device name, put SCP in front of the MAC address. The MAC address coming from this top line here. Everything else is pretty much pulled directly over from the other side of this application. This one line is in yellow to draw your attention to it because it's letting you know the application made a change to this line. On the 8800 phone, the name was set up as Jane Doe, but on the 8800 phones, we have a different standard. We only use the first initial dot instead of the full first name. So it automatically converts that over for us. Everything else is looking fine. So I'm just going to hit this button, create an 8841 phone. And when I do that, the two status lights turn green. The phone status light is letting you know that the phone has been created, and the user status light lets you know that the user had the device added to their user. So then we do a research on the call manager, and we see at the very bottom there's our new phone, the Jane Doe phone. And if you take a look at it, see it has the correct MAC address like what we had on our list, and it has the two lines like what was shown. There's the user for Jane Doe. It has all the SIP information installed like it should for a SIP phone, standard SIP profile, and all that information, the proprietary stuff for SIP. And then for line 1, you see Jane Doe is set up. And here's the information to change the line text label. Also shows Jane Doe is on that phone. And if I would do a search for the user and show the user, it would actually show that device on there. I won't show it because it'll actually show a list of our actual live users, so I'm not going to show that. So there we have it. All I had to do, click like what? This button, that button, and that button, and I created a brand new phone in the call manager and actually converted a 7900 phone into an 8800 phone just by quickly clicking 3 buttons. Now, it took me longer here because I was demoing it, but it really takes very little time to do this. Now, she's also needing a soft phone. Now, we already have a preview of her original phone in here, so we're going to hit the CSF to create her soft phone. It's going to come up and show a new summary on here, and actually change the device name to our standard, which we put SEP99 in front of a 10-digit number. So there's a new device name, and again, it's highlighting to let you know that, hey, this line is different than what was on the original phone, so we're okay with all that. We're going to create that CSF. And then actually, we can actually do a search on here too. When you see the 2 new phones on here. Now, if you want, because it doesn't matter which phone you start with. You don't have to start with the 7900 phone. Let's start with the 8841 phone this time. We're going to start with the 8841 phone. So now it already has the proper text on here, correct? So now she needs to have a iPhone. She has an iPhone. So we're going to click this button here, the iOS button. And then just a little bit different. It's bringing your attention to this line here, max calls, because the iPhone has a max call setting of 2 as high as it can go. The old phone had 4 on the soft phone, so it brought it down from 4 to 2. And also it highlighted all these other lines that are on the phone. If there was more lines, it would highlight all the lines except for line 1. The reason being because the mobile phone, you can only have a single line on your mobile phone. So now we create the iPhone. There we go. And then next week, she's ditching the iPhone altogether and changing the Android. So we're going to go ahead and create her Android mobile phone a week in advance. I'm going to click the bot button. And just like on the iPhone, it limits, you're limited to only 2 max calls, and the other lines won't be copied over. So then you click the create animal button. So now we should have the iPhone or the Android phone. Now we click the branch, do a refresh or search, and you see the iPhone, and you see the Android phone, and you see the soft phone, and of course the 8841 phone. Now remember, these 2 phones were copied from the CSF phone, while the CSF phone was copied from the 7900 phone. And it doesn't matter with this application, you can copy from any one model to any of the other models, except for 7900 models. I did not configure to create 7900 phones because we're getting rid of all those. So now you can see there's line 1 on her phone, and you can see all the phones that this number is attached to. And again, you see Jane Doe is on there as a user. Everything's looking good. Now, we're going to look at what we need to do now. We need to convert all the phones, all the rest of the phones to 8800 phones. Now I got this filter button on here. I want to see, it's been a while since I used it. I want to see how well it works. Because I'm just going to look at the 7942 phones. Because I don't care about, I'm not going to convert the rest of these phones. Let's click that. There we go. So we've already done Jane's phone, so we don't want to do that one again. Let's check, let's do the back office phone, the first one on the list. We click phone. And actually, before we do that, we're going to do the auto preview for 8841. What this will do, this will take out a step. We don't really have to hit this 8841 button when we hit the select button. So I'm going to select this phone again and hit this button. There we go. So now automatically puts it over here. So it just saves me a step. It lets me know there's no owner associated to this phone, but this phone is just a back office phone. We don't need an owner on that phone. So we're going to create it. And since there's no user, the user light stayed like it was and the phone light went green. Now Bob Doe phone. And you also notice it automatically steps through the MAC addresses on here. On the Bob Doe phone, now this is different. It lets you know that it changed the name on the text label, went to B Doe instead of Bob Doe, like on the old phone. And also, this phone here, we do need to have a user on it. Bob Doe, we need to add him to that. So we're going to come on here and do a search. Now this also goes to the call manager. So there's Bob's username. We're going to click that, and that adds him to the phone, both the device owner and line user. We're going to create that phone. We're going to do a customer service phone. And select that one. Again, we don't care, there's no user on it, but let's just go ahead and change the C to a capital C. What happens when you create these phones, it actually takes whatever are in these text boxes and sends it to the call manager. And the call manager will make the phone depend on what you put in these boxes, as long as it understands what you put in there. Like if I change this to call recording today, it's not going to like that too much and come back with an error. I'm going to create that phone. Front office phone. That should be good. Got a hotel phone. Let's see, the sales phone. We've already did James, we won't do that one again. I'm going to create that one. Now they're all good. Now, let's take a look and see in the call manager. We'll do a search for that branch again. So now you see we have all these 8841 phones. So these are all new phones that were quickly created with that application. I mean, before, I don't know about you guys, if I wouldn't create each one of those, I would still be working on the first phone. But here I've already done all these phones, plus I did all the soft phones and the mobile phones. Now also, just to show you what happens when you make an error, let's say we've already created this phone. Oh, if you try to create this phone a second time, it comes back and says, hey, it could not, this came back from the call manager saying that there's a duplicate value. I haven't really parsed these very well. I just have directly shown what the call manager comes back. Hit OK. And now the status light is red to let you know this phone was not created. There was an issue. It did not create this phone. Now, another thing we can do on here, on these phones that have two lines, like this one here, I have a swap phone line button. Hit this, it'll actually swap the two lines around, which is a lot easier than what you can do in a call manager. Have you ever tried to swap lines in a call manager? See how easy that is? Very difficult. Just here, you just push a button and swap the lines before you put them in the call manager. Like for instance, let's say we're going to do Jane and make her into a soft phone. Now the soft phone, remember, it was set up so it creates the device name based on line 1, 10-digit number. So when you swap the line, it'll change it line 1, so it also changes the device name. So then I should be able to create this phone a second time. It just as a different device name. And actually, for a regular phone, you go up to 5 lines, and you can put anything you want. And you put anywhere from between 1 to 5 in these boxes. If you go higher than 5, it gives you an error. It only 1 through 5. So, and you can do either box. So you can swap 5 to 1, 1 to 5, whatever you need to do. You can easily swap the lines that way. So this was an application I created. I had zero API experience. This is the very first API I've ever worked with before, and I really liked the Call Manager API. It works really well. It has so much stuff you can do with it, and I haven't programmed since college, like 30 years ago, but that was also in VBA. So most everything on here I did, I went to and on the Cisco page. There's a couple of Cisco pages I looked at, and also I Googled a lot of it, and I also use Post to test a lot of the scripts before I actually put it into the Excel. So with this application here, I convert a branch of 20 phones in like less than 2 minutes easily, unless sometimes it may take a bit longer because if I had to add users to every phone, like if the original phone didn't have the user already on, like James does, so it may take a little bit longer to search the first users. But as long as I've had the branch already set up and I can filter it to the phone I'm looking for, takes no time at all. Well, anyway, thanks for watching today and hope to see you later. Bye.